Matters Arising is the flagship talk show of KAFTANTV that features in-depth discussions and analysis of topical and trending national as well as international issues by our team of seasoned broadcast journalists. My name is Macualey Hunohashi saying thanks for joining us tonight.
I am John Okoro. Welcome to the program.
Okechukwu Onubogbu here. Good to have you there.
Well, we welcome you to today's show, which promises to be engaging, incisive, and interactive. You can also be a part of the conversation by calling our phone number 0802-993-8365, which will be displayed on your screen later in the course of the show. Okechukwu Onubogbu, it's been a while. Thanks for rejoining the family, the Matters Arising family. You've been away.
Yes. Thank God for life. I had to be off. It's a natural thing that happened that I had to stay away for a while so as to get strong enough to return.
I truly missed you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I'm elated that you are here. Nigerians can't wait to get your thoughts on national issues. John, you're excited to. I can see you smile all over your face.
Good to have Okechukwu back on the program. So
I missed you people, really. I'm glad to be here again.
And you are back and stronger and better.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Okay. Well, that's on a lighter mood. And on the program tonight, we shall be reviewing the just concluded Edo State governorship election. Was it free? Was it fair? Was it credible and violence-free? Did it meet the expectation of Nigerians? The long-awaited Edo State governorship election, which took place on Saturday, September the 21st day of September 2024, has come and gone, leaving in its wake a wave of controversies, jubilations, and protests, as usual. On Sunday, September 22nd, 2024, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, declared Senator Monday Okpebolo of the All Progressives Congress, the APC, as the winner of the Edo State governorship election. He polled 291,667 votes to beat his closest rival, Dr. Aswe Ighodalo of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, who scored 247,655 votes. Olumide Akpata of the Labour Party polled 22,763 votes to come a distant third. The APC won 10 out of the 18 local government areas in the state, while the PDP won 8. Speaking moments after he was declared the winner of the exercise, Senator Okpebolo promised a new Edo State. As the governor-elect continues to savor the sweet taste of victory, his political allies and supporters, including President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, have been sending congratulatory messages describing his victory at the polls as well-deserved. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party has officially rejected the Edo State governorship election results as announced by INEC, noting that the party would challenge the matter in court. In a press conference in Abuja, the PDP acting national chairman Umar Damagun insisted that his party's candidate Aswe Ighodalo was the rightful winner of the election. Some civil society organizations who observed the Edo election on Saturday have alleged that major political parties were engaged in vote buying, adding that the coalition process did not pass integrity test. As the controversies continue, the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, has called on the people to be calm while advising those who are aggrieved to follow the due process of law to seek redress. Well, my conclusion is that the Edo State election, the outcome has disappointed those people who think, who have this fixated mindset about the elections in Edo State, saying it is one of the most volatile places to hold elections. The expectation was that it was going to snowball into something bigger, something that will be beyond control of security agents. With 34,000 police officers led by Frank Mba, in addition to the additional 8,000, security personnel from sister agencies. There was a massive, turnout by election observer, both domestic and international. as well as robust media coverage, and it turned out to be smooth, violence-free. That's my conclusion. Even though our elections is always characterized by litigations. No politician thinks he can lose the election in Nigeria. Those that have won are jubilating, like I mentioned earlier. Those that feel, INEC has announced the wrong results, are talking about going to court. But we have not heard anything from Olumide Okata, who scored, a paltry 24,000, votes.
Is it 24, 22?
As the flag bearer of
about 22,000,
22,000
and some fractions.
Of Labour Party.
I think he has actually spoken. He said that if the elections, or if the election was free and fair, that he should have been the winner. And he also embellished it by saying that as a patriotic Nigerian, that he can actually step out to serve in any position, anywhere that his services are needed. It's because people like him and other Nigerians who think alike are actually yearning to see a new Nigeria. And as well, even the defeated candidate of the PDP, has also spoken.
Yes.
In fact, he called Saturday the darkest day. He called it the darkest day.
The darkest day in his life, in his political career.
Exactly. So, but he also, commended the people for coming out despite all odds, and then finally urged them to be calm. Why everyone will follow due process. So if you are aggrieved, you know what to do. You know what to do.
Well, being aggrieved and knowing what to do and staying calm or keeping calm, that's the best they can do. Because if they do any other thing, they will cause problem for themselves. So in actual fact, I agree with the governor, I agree with Olumide Okata, I agree with Aswe, asking people to calm down, to take it easy, and not to take the laws into their hands to do things the wrong way. In actual fact, it's in the best interest of Edo that they will just calm down and let things take the due course. As for the election being free and fair, it is far from being free and fair. Very far from being free and fair.
What do you mean?
We had stories of vote buying from both leading parties. We had a lot of things really, and the story of the votes not being counted the right way, and I had stories of what do you call it now? The people who are to represent PDP and other parties chased away, party agents, allowing only the APC agents to work with them. What is that supposed to mean? It simply means that there was no good officiating. Yes, the people took pains to come out under the rain, and that's kudos to the people of Edo that they came out that way, not minding, defiling the rain. They came, and after all that, incidentally, it seems as though it wasn't what they asked for that they got. I'm not saying that it should have been Ighodalo. I'm not saying it should have been what do you call him now, Akpata. But then the fact is, if the counting, if the collation had been done in such a transparent manner, we wouldn't have had this situation that we're talking about today. But then that's life. Some people have said that the two major parties rigged, but then the one that was declared winner outrigged the other. So, well, that's one of those things. But I must say something. And that thing I must say is that I looked at, I saw a clip where the president of Nigeria was telling Adams Oshiomhole that he would use his authority as a capacity as a president of the Federal Government of Nigeria to get him Edo State. because, of course, it just looked as though the man couldn't win the state any longer, but then he will help him. These things are not supposed to be heard of.
But are you sure the clip is authentic?
It is.
You know, these days you have AI.
Just listen. It is very clear. It was done long ago. We saw it. It was seen when it was done. So it's just now that the people are, some people in the media, in the social media, brought it up again.
AI can be
so there are certain things we should be expecting to see in our country. Can we just have everything move smooth? Let there be perfect, free and fair electioneering and voting, and at the end of the day, free and fair collation.
Okay.
At the end of the day, if anyone wins, let the winner go ahead.
At this auspicious time, we're going to open our telephone line so that viewers, our vibrant callers, can begin to call in as usual to share their thoughts with us. If they have a question, if they have any comment with regards to EDO election that happened on Saturday. The election has come and gone. There, reactions have continued to trail the outcome of the election, and we'll be expecting litigation. Certainly, there are 3 levels of litigation. First, the tribunal. First of all, before even the tribunal, there is a window for INEC to review.
Exactly. I think
7 days?
Section 65 of the Electoral Act actually provides for that, and it is one of the demands of the PDP so far. And but with the benefit of hindsight, I don't think that INEC will actually want to look that direction, because even during the 2023 general elections, you know that the same report was also made by the PDP, you know, that citing that particular section, that the INEC chairman had the right to actually, if you have this kind of a deluge of complaints from all over the place, that you should actually look into these complaints and then do a kind of review. He has the powers, but I don't think, based on with the benefit of hindsight, you know the way it is. I think the only option now, based on my own observation, will just be for the aggrieved parties to proceed, you know, to court, which the PDP has said that they would do, you know, if INEC, you know, maybe doesn't listen to their demands. And having said that, very soon you also hear that the Edo State Election Tribunal, you know, will also be set up. Yes. You know, then after that, the whole thing will start happening. But beyond that, I think for me, it's not of good reports that anytime elections are held in the country, you see all these kind of controversies. Somebody will lose, somebody will win. But I think even for those who lost, if you see a transparent process, I don't think there'll be any need for you to even protest, because you see that everything happened openly, transparently, the way these things happen in other countries. You know, so even if you lose, you tell yourself, oh, maybe I didn't do well here, I didn't do well there. Next time, I'll try. Because there will be no need. But anytime we see people complain about it, because if you look at the civil societies, like some of them use some kind of methodologies to actually, you know, look at the elections, you understand, and test the integrity, like you mentioned during your intro. And I said that, yes, the other processes like distribution of materials, it was great. Arrival on time, good. You understand. Then voting. Accreditation, great. Voting itself, great. However, it was only from the period of collation that things started happening. You understand? That's one. Then secondly, again, the issue of vote buying. It cannot just go. It can't just go. You can't just, in fact, it's like, they said that those who were on ground there, and based on the report, it's like this particular election, this just concluded Edo State election, actually, you know, upped, you know, the tempo.
Yeah,
in terms of
4,000 to 10,000.
In terms of vote buying,
it's now 10,000.
Bringing in other things like rice, right there. You remember the gentleman that called on Saturday while we were on air, the Chief Omo from Awichi. He kept on saying something.
Physically challenged.
Yes, a person living with person with disability, PWD. You know, and he said, you know, why he was complaining about not being attended to. you know, he kept on hammering something, that the reason behind his being neglected was simply because everybody was running around chasing money.
Chasing money.
That was the man kept hammering on it.
He didn't pay attention to him.
Yeah, nobody paid attention to him. That's somebody who is physically challenged, who drove himself, somebody who's on wheelchair, who wanted to vote, was now denied access because the gate was closed against him, and nobody wanted to help him. And even the person that he said that looked like an INEC officer didn't listen to him. The person that he also alleged was a police officer didn't listen to him. And so you can imagine, so it's not of good report, like I said earlier. I think something has to be done. Honestly, something has to be done.
Something has to be done, but who has the responsibility of making those changes is the same politicians. The same politicians are the ones that field candidates through their own political parties. Okechukwu alluded to the fact that he saw a video clip of Mr. President saying he was going to hand over EDO to Adams Oshomole. If it is true, I didn't see the clip. If it is true, politicians have a way of, strategizing to win an election. It's about winning election. He is the sitting president, and it's a pointer to what may happen in 2027. It's going to be a huge embarrassment as far as Mr. President camp is concerned, particularly the political party, the ruling party at the center, for them to lose the election. And, I've heard people say Godwin Obaseki, tested the bitter pill of his own medicine because he also is guilty of the same thing. Here was a guy who was fighting the Oba Bini, and we know the groundswell that Oba Bini controls, particularly within his local government, and even across the entire state. He refused to swear in judges. He refused to swear in members of the House of Assembly. He fought and impeached his deputy governor. Oh, let's take this caller. He's been calling since. Hello? Hello? Good evening. This is Matters Horizon. Could you please turn down the volume of your TV? Then tell us your name. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Turn down the volume. Turn down the volume of your TV set, please. And then, you just take some steps away from it and continue. Is he not hearing us? Turn down the volume. Turn down the volume of your television set, please. Thank you for doing that. Then go ahead with your name and where you're calling from.
Can you hear me now very clear?
We can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Good evening, officer, boss.
Good evening to you too.
Yes, I'm very happy to hear from you as well this time.
Go ahead.
Yes. My name is Darlington.
Darlington, go ahead. Share your thoughts with us, please. Go ahead.
For those state election, this very one makes me happy because a lot of sometimes when we have election in those states, there will be a lot of vehicles that they will show this one is burning, and some people will lose their life. But this I did not see the one they make mention of the loss of life. Am I right?
You're right. You're right. Go ahead.
No loss of life.
That's right.
And no vehicle they show that this one has been born. And then when they make mention of President Tinubu, they may say they will hand over those states to the APC or Shomole. Is the president the one voting and doing the voting?
Are you done?
It's not the president that is doing the voting. It is the candidate, the people that have the voter, the one that are doing the voting.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I believe it is what we believe that will happen is what we normally have in this time.
Thank you. Thank you for your perspective. He's saying it's not the president, even though even if the president said so, he's not the one that will be on ground to do the voting.
Yes,
and the people.
I want to say something about what he said, which I had earlier mentioned, that Edo was peaceful all through. And so that was why I said kudos to the people of Edo, Edo State. They really did a lot. But I also want to say that not when you have 40,000 security personnel on ground. You know, when you talk about the police having 32 and the others 8.
35.
30, okay. So the other 8, then so 43,000. Not when you have such an amount of, a number of people that you want to start doing things anyway. That's number one. But all the same, they tried. It's very much unlike Edo, that it was a peaceful thing. And we pray it will continue like this in subsequent elections, because loss of lives and property are the things that had always characterized Edo elections at the end of the day. And when there is this kind of civility in the behavior and of the people, and they have behaved well, they've composed themselves the right way, they have safeguarded a lot of their facilities. So you won't start wasting more money to repair the things that have been destroyed. So it's a good thing, it's a good one that Edo has brought forth, and may they continue with it. It's a good thing.
Election. You know, if you look at it again,
John was like,
I say,
election.
honestly, because, elections, they are the building blocks of our democracy, or any democracy anywhere. And if you don't get it right at that level, that foundational level, every other structure we want to put on ground will continue to totter all the time. And that's exactly what what we are seeing in Nigeria today. If you look at our institutions, that are very weak, because we don't have a strong foundation in terms of the institutions of democracy. And using the Edo State, the last Edo State governorship election as our case study, you will discover that the usual suspects are still there, especially when it comes to this perception, whether real or imagined, that the power or the ruling party at the center will always mobilize all the forces at its disposal to use it to get power, or to use it to intimidate opponents and make sure that they retain power. And I am praying and waiting for that day when we will hold elections in Nigeria and everyone will go about his or her own normal business without having the whole city, the whole country under interdiction. No movement,
yes,
no this, no that.
As it happens in
all the time,
developed climes.
in the country, you could actually come to work, go to the polling unit,
finish, get back to your
cast your
office,
ballot, and return to your work, go to the market, do everything. Now the traffic will be allowed to move on. I think I am waiting for a day like this.
Okay, let's take this caller as John waits for a day like this.
not the one they will
Where
give
elections will be
public
free, fair,
holiday,
and credible.
give public holiday
Let's take
a
this
day
caller.
before.
Hello, good evening. You're on 2 Matters Rising live on KAFTAN television. Go ahead, we can hear you loud and clear. Please go ahead. Joe Bumoro from Edo State, you are a regular caller. We appreciate you are joining us tonight.
Yes.
Turn down the volume. You are used to calling us. Turn down the volume of your TV, please. You are a regular caller. Turn it down.
Okay, I want to ask a question.
No, turn down your volume first. Continue. Go ahead.
Okay. This governorship election that was conducted, is it Oshomole that is an aspirant or the Okechukwu?
Were you not on ground?
You are the person in Edo.
You
have to tell
Why
us.
I'm asking this question is,
Okay, your question is rhetorical.
why I'm asking this question is, up till now, the governor that won, the person that won has not spoken anything. If you watch the jubilation, it was Oshomole that was speaking. So I don't know whether he's coming back to rule again. I don't just know. If you watch the video clip, both the Monday and the Senate president and the Oshomole, it was Oshomole that was thanking God. The man kept quiet.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what's happening. Then in the issue of vote buying, APC started buying votes first. They came with bags of money, new meat. So, well, we know the election has been conducted and it was peaceful. I think the judiciary will do the needful.
Okay. Thank you. Amen.
Because what we saw at the collation center, that's not how it's supposed to be.
Thank you, Job Umaru. Job Umaru is talking about the fact that it was Oshomole that came out to even express their joy with the outcome of the result. And casting our minds back to the campaigns. Even during the campaigns, it was Oshomole that did the talking. Most of the time, Oshomole did the talking for him. He campaigned for Monday Okoro. We all know that, because as journalists, we know that Monday Okoro is a serving senator. But I know it's on record that he has never raised his hand to even second a motion, not to talk of crafting his own motion. So he's been a laid-back person. And, the media has tried to scrutinize the candidates, and the conclusion by the media is that he's inarticulate. He cannot articulate himself. He cannot come out to spell out his manifesto before a large audience or on live TV. So in the same vein,
yes,
coming out to talk about the victory, we're not likely to see that. But that is what people have.
Before you continue, let me just say that he actually spoke.
Yeah, he spoke.
It's on record. He spoke.
Yes.
Yeah, he spoke. So
and,
he spoke actually.
And let me say something else. In the case of Oshomole talking most of the time, there's a normal thing that they normally say in Edo too, even in the Pidgin English areas. When Baba they talk, Pikin no supposed to talk.
So that's the reason.
So Baba they talk. Pikin go relax, wait. When he finishes, before he will start his own talk. That's number one. Number two.
And let me just add another one again. Okay. When na goat abi dey chop grass, so what happens that the small goat now will be learning how to eat the grass.
So he's been taught how to eat grass, so he will not be eating.
So he's learning.
Well, so, but all the same, as he has become.
So Monday Okoro is learning.
Maybe that was what he was doing during the campaign. Now he's now elected.
He has started talking.
So he has to start
as he has become the governor, he has no option but to talk. Okoro has no option but to talk.
Yes, that's him on screen.
Yes, and
you can see he's talking.
He's talking.
Yeah.
No, it will get to a point that he will start saying the things he needs.
No, he has to talk.
He has no option.
He has no option, because that is what Edo people deserve. Exactly. Because that is what they came out en masse to say, to exercise their franchise, to get, and they have gotten this one. But we want to see what happens in the law courts.
One thing again I want to add here is, going forward in our electoral system, like they do in certain countries, before you win, you have to pass a certain threshold in terms of spread, across the area that you are running this election on behalf of. Look at, in the case of Edo State, you have 3 senatorial zones. You have the Edo North, you have the Edo Central, and then you have the Edo South. But do you know that it was only one of the zones that the APC won? So this man was declared the winner of the election for winning only one zone. Only one zone. Why the one who lost actually won in 2 of the zones? But because of the massive votes, that he got from Edo North, which is also the stronghold of Baba Oshomole. You understand? So you could see, because Edo North is strong. So if I was Edo North that actually gave him the victory based on the results. I know that some people will want to contest it. However, based on the results, you understand? Based on the result that we have on ground now, that is the record now, he won Edo North, and it was Edo North that gave him that victory. Why his opponents, Aso Ighodalo, won in 2 of the zones, but whatever he got there was not enough to give him the victory.
And you find out that they said he got 10 of the 18 local governments, and
exactly.
And
why PDP
Ighodalo got 8.
Okay, now talking about eloquence and the need for candidates to be heard during campaigns. I've been following, elections and campaigns all over the world, and I know that debates don't really win elections, but they have a way of swaying perception or changing the thinking of a demographic or even individuals. So going forward, this is 21st century, and then we need to be hearing candidates so that we can know the state of mental health, their elocution, level of elocution, and things like that. Let's take this caller. Hello, good evening. This is Matters Arising. Hello. Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you, but you are not loud enough. We've lost the caller.
Please, I want to mention that this same thing we are seeing that has happened between Oshiomhole and Okoro, that was exactly what happened when the incumbent governor, the one that will be going soon, was about to come in. Oshiomhole was one that said everything, most of the things for him. And you know, he's a kind of person that likes to talk. So, but when the man came in, he started doing his own thing. So,
but Godwin Obaseki did not have a structure. He was a new entrant who was brought in and picked by Oshiomhole and brought in. You know,
so it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So don't be surprised. Not when you start hearing Okoro start talking now. You think
we hope so.
He will have things to say.
He will have things to say. So let's take this caller. Hello, good evening. This is Matters Arising live from KAFTAN Television Studios in Abuja. Go ahead, your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
KAFTANTV.
Thank you so much for
I
calling.
appreciate all of you.
We appreciate you, sir.
And other two guys. I really love your program.
Thank you.
I've been following your program since last time when we were talking about some issues.
Okay.
My name is Ekpenyong, Prince Ekpenyong Efio,
Yes,
from
I remember
Okoro
you.
State.
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, to be fair, to be sincere, I'm not happy.
Okay.
I'm not happy with what is going on in Edo State. We have children, for God's sake. We have children. You know, I mentioned something the last time.
Yes.
That was in 1985 when I was born in Festac. When I was born in Festac, I think that was during the coup of Babangida. And I know one of the things he said that we are the future of this country, the young people. I'm still sitting there in Calabar. I have not held any position. I have not seen any young person that has been allowed to handle position. And now, my great-grandfathers, my fathers, are lying to me that this election was free and fair in Edo State. For God's sake, it wasn't free and fair. Let the truth be spoken. There was something Mr. Okoro said. I just forgot. He was asking a question when you started the program. I wanted to ask that question back. When will Nigeria do the right thing? When?
Yeah.
We look at, you were mentioning other clients when they do election. Even with your manual phone, this Nokia 3310 that does not have Android facility or iPhone or Pro Max, you can vote. I don't need to go to the polling unit. You can even go to the supermarket where you are buying something and you vote. There are many ways to do this thing. So I want to ask that 2027 is going to be very serious.
Yeah.
The way I see this election in Edo State is going to be serious. If we do not do the necessary reforms with regards to electoral processes, we are just playing. And when we have IMF, World Bank, United Nations, all these heavy organizations that believe on integrity, that believe on accountability, and they are seeing what we are doing, who will come and invest in Nigeria? Who will come and invest? We are busy borrowing. They will borrow us, but they will not give us the money to do the right thing. Because if it's like you now, if I'm your friend and you know that I cannot deliver, I'm somebody who is always drinking, who is always messing around with the money that I have, my personal money that I have. Then I come to you when I don't have. Will you give it to me?
No.
But if I say that, okay, I'm going to borrow the money, because you know that I have the money, and I'm ready to follow your conditions with regards to giving you extra percentage, you will give me that money, knowing fully well that if I can't pay that money, there's something you will take from me. So that is what Nigeria is going to. And our children, the future of this country is at stake. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Ekpenyong. And on that note, we're going to take a short break. And when we return, the post-mortem on Edo State governorship election that happened on Saturday will continue. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Do you want wider patronage of your goods and services?
Do you want your goods and services to have traction?
Do you desire to make more sales and increase your return on investment?
KAFTANTV has got you covered because you can achieve all this with reasonable amounts of money.
With modest charges, we are the best around here for advertising and product promotion.
Whatever you want to say it for us on KAFTANTV.
We are a global multimedia platform aimed at positioning the African viewpoint.
On Startimes channels 480 and 124 and free-to-air NIGCOMSAT channels 12518, symbol rate 29500.
With crystal clear digital signals, we reach no fewer than 54 million viewers around the world. For advert bookings and sponsorship of programs, please call
Silas on 081 615 19559, Khadija on 070 713 72115, or Ruben on 080 234 47703.
KAFTAN TV.
Imagine a beautiful world.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Matters Arising live from KAFTAN Television Studios in Abuja, the nation's capital. Well, John, Okoro, and Okechukwu, before we went on that break, something crossed my mind that we are not serious in this country, because the last caller, Ekpenyong, who resides in Lagos, from Calabar, who resides in Lagos, he mentioned something. He talked about what John earlier said, that we're not serious as a people. When are we going to be serious? He asked that question rhetorically. And what crossed my mind was that on the day this election was going on Saturday, that's on Saturday, day before yesterday, in Edo State, there were elections, local government elections in Kwara State, and the 16 local government, were cleared by the ruling party. The same thing happened in Imo. They were cleared by the same party. I don't want to say they won. So I'm waiting to see what will happen in a state like Kano, where it is NNPP that holds sway, and a state like the Labour Party, the only state that Labour Party has Abia. Governor in Abia State. I'm waiting to see.
Even in Anambra, it will soon be happening in Anambra. It will happen coming weekend in Anambra.
In fact, across the country, we're having the local government elections coming, soon, because they have the deadline, because of the deadline and because of the issue of the access to funds and everything. So you know what it is. So it tells you the story that we've been trying to rehash and talk about all this while. That's the electoral process, which is the foundation of democracy. Is how we are yet to understand the concept of democracy if we don't get it right at the level of elections. The ruling party in the state, winning all the seats, or you say you don't want to use the word win, okay, we'll say select,
or clear.
We love use that word, cleared, all the local governments, so but more or less it's about selection, because even before those elections, you will know that those who will step out to vie for those positions of either chairman of the LGAs or councillors representing the wards, definitely will be natural choice of the governor. If you are not in the good books of the governor, you cannot step out to run.
Almost all of them do the same thing.
Exactly. So the same thing.
The case.
Government Obaseki that is crying foul did the same thing in Edo State.
So the same thing.
He disenfranchised so many, eligible, candidates who, if they had thrown their hand in the race, could win elections. But his candidates were handpicked, and they were cleared.
And it's about control. It's about the funds.
So it's about control.
Despite the fact that we have the Supreme Court
ruling
judgments and everything in terms of the independence of our local governments, or what we want to term the local government autonomy, financial, administrative, and political independence or autonomy. Yet, we can still find a way, to go around it and continue doing the same thing that we've been doing over the years. I'm talking about the governors now.
Yes.
And as far as the joint account, that section of the Constitution that has the joint account, the joint state and local government account is still there. This problem will continue. The only way we can solve this problem, from my own point of view, will be when the law is repealed or amended, that section, to create a new account for the local government directly, where the governor or governors will never have any access to directly. You understand? Because if the money is now from the federal allocation, it goes straight to these local government accounts, then whatever happens behind is a different case. But now we still have the joint accounts. So now these funds are going straight into the joint accounts. Despite the fact that the Supreme Court has said this or said that about the issue of financial autonomy, but we know that the essence of having this local government election is simply to say, okay, you say we must have elections. Okay, we have had elections. I bring in the money now.
John,
once the money comes, what now happens? It still goes the same old story.
John, apart from that, they have been empowered to have their own account. They've been empowered to have their own account. So it's just a matter of taking the decision, taking the bull by the horn to go and create their own account. Not like these ones in your state that open their mouth to come and say,
33 of them.
Yes, that no, we don't want. Who are you to say you don't want? This is what the law of the land says, and you say you don't want. If you don't want, get out of that place. Let the people that want do the work. That is arrant nonsense. You come and sit and they say, no, you shouldn't say such a thing, that we're happy with our governor. Did the law say that you're not happy with the governor? It's not you. It's not about you, individuals. It's about the government, about the law of the land. And they say, no, it's okay. And I'm surprised that their governor has even relaxed, calmed down to say it's okay. They don't understand. There are many other things involved. Why not tell them to shut up? Stop saying this kind of thing is not right. You wouldn't say. So they have been empowered. It's just that some of them have decided to behave the way they are behaving. But all the same, I'm happy. Let me look and see what will happen by the time all these elections will be over. Just as you said, let's see if it is the ruling party in each state that will take over. Remember, you know that the National Assembly has just brought in something that will make it that there will not be state electoral commissions any longer, that it should be INEC that will take care of even the local governments. So if it works and if it happens from now, you may also be surprised that it's the federal might that will take the thing that is in the local governments. Nigeria has a lot
generally,
to do
whatever, I think the main... Okay.
John, let's take this call.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
Hello, good evening. This is Matters Arising. Your own, please. Your own to Matters Arising on KAFTAN television. Go on your line of...
Yes, I was saying that it's still the same old story, the same problem in terms of the electoral process. Because if we use the local government system now as our case study in terms of the transparency of the electoral process, then we should allow other parties to come out. You know, even within the party where you have what's the supposed internal democracy, let different people come out, not the person who will dance to the tune or the governor in terms of in collaboration or colluding in the misappropriation of the local government funds. Because if you look at the funds accruable to the local government, it runs into, in fact, some local governments even in a year might be hitting almost 300 million, 400 million as their revenue for that year. So in a serious place, if you have a local government that at least, averagely per annum, you can gross or net 300 million as a revenue for that year, only from the federal account. I'm not talking about the internal generated revenue. I'm not even talking about what comes even from the state to the local government. I'm talking about the money coming from the federal allocation. Then you should be able to do something. But because the electoral process is flawed, so even those who go there to be chairmen and to be councillors, they are just going there because they are only interested in what they will get out of the money, nothing else.
Okay, let's take this caller. Hello, good evening. This is Matters Arising. Live on KAFTAN television. Please go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening. Go ahead, please. Your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Honorable Ola Otobo.
Okay, go ahead. Ola Otobo, from where?
From Benue State.
Go ahead with your contribution, please.
I think over these issues that you're discussing here.
Go ahead, Ola. The line is epileptic to nice.
Benue, yeah. It'll be fine.
So I think I agree with both of you. In addition to removing local government from these joint accounts with state governors, if government can think of creating a separate body, electoral body that will be saddled with the responsibility of conducting elections for local government in states, that will be an additional panacea. Let's take this caller. Hello?
Hello.
Go ahead, please.
My name is Chinedu from Ondo State.
Go ahead. Could you raise your voice a little bit so that you can be more audible?
Hello.
Go ahead,
Chinedu from where did he say?
Go ahead, we can hear you.
Okay, Chinedu from Ondo State.
Chinedu from Ondo State, let's get your perspective on the EDO election.
Okay,
concerning
this last Saturday Edo State governor election, what I understand is that there's nothing like free and fair in this country.
Were you there?
And I'm not there, but I saw some results.
You didn't like the results?
The attendance there.
Yes.
And the total, the one that APC got, higher than the people that attend the polling unit.
Okay.
Which is very bad, and all these things is because of INEC. So what I'm trying to say is that INEC is the major problem of this country. So that's what I can say, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Ola, for your perspective.
Well, that is it. That's what we're saying. Because looking at what has happened in this DO one, that at every other aspect went fine. It was just the collation. Who does the collation? That's the question. So it is from there that there was the problem that everybody has been stressing, pointing out. So the fact is, he has his right, he has his way to his opinion. So, but then we need to look at that. And Macaulay, you said something. Yes. It made me laugh somehow. But let me bring it out again. You said that we hope that it will come from the federal, that there will be an independent body that will handle the local government elections, and maybe, hopefully, that then there will be sanity. Which sanity? Is it not the same federal government that will appoint them that they want to please? It is the thing. You see, in fact, they should remove that independent that they put in INEC. Just call it National Electoral Commission. National Electoral Commission. Let's rest with it. Because, I mean, keep making it look as if we don't understand English any longer.
It sounds like a caricature.
Yes, let it just be National Electoral Commission. Whatever they do, okay, that's what they are doing. Because this thing we are saying, bring them to the local government, they will do the same thing they have done in the federal, there in the local government. Whoever it is, whether it is APCO or PDPO or even Labour Party, any party, NMPP, mention anyone, ZLP, that is the president or presidential candidate, and they are the ones that will appoint the people. They will want to please them.
Let's take this caller. Good evening. You're on to Masters Rising, live from KAFTAN Television. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
Good evening. This is Pastor Akinde calling from Okoro.
Okay, go ahead, please, with your contribution.
Concerning the Edo's election, it was a surprise and a shock to the democracies in Nigeria with what we had, but we only pray that the way God should not allow the way APC want to turn this country to. They want to run our country to one-party system, which will be a future problem to this nation. Tinubu try to make sure, and the APC entirely, that no one can cop them, no one can talk to them by turning our system to one-party system. That is the agenda. But I know that God will never leave this country. And I know what happened in Edo is a reflection that our democracy has been crashed down. But we pray that God will rescue Ondo State. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you too. Amen.
Amen.
Olumide Akpata, the Labour Party candidate, why he was making his speech after the election, in a press conference, he even suggested, in fact, he said that even some of his own party, Labour Party agents, were also compromised.
Yes,
and that also brings to bear what I have always said, that because of the weaponization of poverty in this country, people are ready at any given time to compromise. People are ready at any given time to sell out anything for the purpose of making money.
Okay, John, what are thoughts there? Let's take this caller. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Go ahead.
Good evening.
Yeah, you're on to Matters Arising. Go ahead with your contribution.
Okay. This is Degbemi calling from Abeokuta, Ogun State.
Go ahead, please, with your contribution.
Edo election is in fact, is surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria, we are not yet ready to leave this sufferness. Hunger is a sickness, a disease.
That's right.
Hunger has taken Edo State to a land that they never expect themselves to be. During 2023 campaign, when our president went to Benin to campaign, the Edo people were telling the president that Edo not be Lagos. Edo not be Lagos. And now we are disappointed that Edo is now Lagos.
Okay.
They have been blaming the Yorubas, that it is the Yoruba that are disturbing Nigeria. But now Edo has joined the Yoruba to disturb Nigeria.
Thank you.
What with what we are seeing, when this government comes, petrol was 198 naira. Now petrol is above 1,000 naira, and we are still tolerating it. Where are we going to?
Thank you for your perspective. We're winding down because we're running out of time. So, Guy, you were on a line of thoughts.
Honestly, a lot of things are happening, and I don't even know which way to go in saying certain things. But then, all I know is, as I told you, until we have leaders who are prepared, the way Goodluck Jonathan did his own, that election, when it was Buhari that was announced, and Goodluck Jonathan told his own man who was making noise at the collation center to stop. Yes, to stop. He said, please, don't worry. And of course, before then, President Jonathan then moved all across the country to say, let nobody do anything, because he's not prepared to let anybody's blood drop for his presidential ambition. This is the kind of thing we need. You know, that was the kind of thing that Yaradua, that is of blessed memory, also tried to set up before he left this world. So, I mean, these two men, if for nothing else, if we follow things the way they did it, I think we can return to where we ought to have. And then the INEC chairman did his job. And this is what we need to find out. Can we have people who will be that honest to do their job effectively, not minding who has appointed them? That's when it becomes independent. But right now, I think, as I said, let's just have National Electoral Commission, as we had some time ago. It will help us.
If you look at the reports or the preliminary reviews now of the election coming from different groups, the opposition parties, the CSOs and others, you will see that one of the drawbacks of the election was the issue of vote buying. Yeah. And now, why do you have vote buying? Because you also have people who are willing to sell and those who are willing to buy.
Yes.
You know, so it's a two-way thing, and you have the willing seller and the willing buyer. Now, why do people want to sell their votes? Because they are hungry. Yeah. Because they're hungry. Because of the weaponization of poverty. And so the more the citizens continue to be pauperized and they become poorer, vote buying will continue to strive. Because people will need something. Some people actually came out to vote because they needed money from whoever would give to them. Some people actually collected from all the parties and voted whoever they wanted to vote for. So we must look at the economy generally, because we can't be discussing about transparency of elections. We can't be discussing about a free process of an election where the citizens are living in poverty. So these two dynamics will always interplay with each other. And if we don't do something about the economy, we'll continue to lament.
Okay. I agree with John, 100%. If we don't do anything about the economy, we'll continue to lament. And Nigeria cannot afford to continue on this kind of trajectory that leads to nowhere. This is how far we can go on our package tonight on Matters Arising. We thank our esteemed viewers and our vibrant callers for making the program interactive and interesting as well as incisive. Well, I need to reiterate at this point that all comments by our vibrant callers are their personal opinion that has no relationship and has nothing to do with the editorial policy of KAFTAN Television and its management. On behalf of our producer, Ruben Okala, and the entire production team, especially the master control room guys that made the program possible by doing a wonderful job, I remain yours truly, Macualey Hunohashi. Good night and see you next time.
I am John Okoro. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Okechukwu Onubogbu here saying, may the best happen to us all.
And now, as we say always on KAFTAN TV, imagine
a beautiful world.